for you managing attention. Communicating respect verbally. Finding friendly eyes near the front and center. She's reading, so get her to clear your voice. Find friendly eyes near the front and center. Say your name, feel the love. Start your speech.
Hi, I'm Teddy.
Hi, Teddy.
So when life gives you lemons, you make lemonade. But when life gives you diabetes, you don't make lemonade. Today I want to share with you my personal commitment to controlling my own diabetes. I'll share with you 2 reasons why I'm personally committed and 3 actions I've taken to stay personally committed. So I know my topic today will be interesting and important to all of you because, like diabetes, we each have our own restrictions on our lives that make our lives that much more difficult. So to begin, the first reason I'm personally committed to controlling my diabetes is I've seen the negative effects of not controlling your health. My uncle, he's now in his 50s. He's a chronic smoker, been smoking since he's 14, probably smokes a pack of cigarettes nearly every day. And when I was 12 years old, we went over to his house to celebrate the graduation of his son from high school. And we're having dinner, very informal, just family, friends. And he's having a conversation with my dad, and I look over at him, and he's kind of pale. He starts kind of turning awkwardly, and now I know he was having a stroke. And it was a very scary thing. No one knew what to do. His family was panicking. And luckily, my dad would stay calm, called the ambulance, ended up spending a couple days in the hospital, but through and through, it was okay. Only problem was he didn't learn his lesson. No initiative to quit smoking, no initiative to really change his health in any way. Luckily for me, I took the initiative and I realized I never want to put my family through that type of situation. I never want to have them worry about my own health. And so that's why I'm personally committed to controlling my diabetes. The second reason is just really, I feel better when I control my diabetes. When I was 15, I decided to be a little more rebellious. I decided to do what I wanted and not control my diabetes. So after tennis one day, a couple guys were going to 7-Eleven. I decided to go with them, get Slurpees, get a bunch of junk food, candy, which no one should really do, but especially if you have diabetes, you really shouldn't be eating that kind of food. And after we go to my friend's house, I'm feeling nauseous, sick, just because my blood sugar is just all over the place, and I ended up passing out. My friend has to call an ambulance, and luckily I didn't have to go to the hospital. It was able to be taken care of right there, and I was okay. But I realized that I just never want to go through that again. Like I said, my friend was scared. It was just a very painful and uncomfortable thing to go through. So now I take 3 actions in order to make sure I can control my diabetes. Number 1 is eating healthy. No more of that sugary junk food. None of that. I stick to a more healthy diet balance, everything so that I can be healthy, not only for my diabetes, but just healthy in general. Number 2, I exercise, daily, work out nearly every day. And just am able to control my blood sugar that much better because of a good regimen with working out. And so the third action I took is actually monitoring my blood sugar. Before I was monitoring it, but now I monitor it and I make sure to check and give myself insulin. So after these 3 actions, I feel confident and optimistic that I'll be able to live a normal lifestyle like all of you and enjoy my life and be happy. So in summary, I've shared with you 2 reasons why I'm personally committed. Again, that I've seen how bad life can be if you don't control your health. Number 2, I just feel better controlling my diabetes. And then the 3 actions again are exercising daily, eating right, and monitoring my blood sugar. So there should be no doubt that I'm personally committed to controlling my diabetes. And I know that I can live a normal lifestyle like all of you. But when life gives all of you lemons and you make lemonade, life gave me diabetes, so I'm going to make sugar-free lemonade. Thank you.
Let's start in the rear. Right here, please. Start with your name, please.
My name's Agnes.
Hi,
Agnes.
I'm sitting in the back, so I can hear Teddy very clearly, so that's good. And I feel like he moved around
Yes.
naturally.
Yeah. Okay, so you projected well, Teddy, and you moved 3 times, and so that kept it interesting to watch you move, and so that was good. Improvement? Hi, Scotty.
I thought it was great, but I know you were trying to say under a certain time, so you were speaking a little fast, but I understand why. It was great.
Yeah, you were under time, and so that was good. Let's start with your intro. You started with what could have been a cliche, which probably wouldn't have been the greatest intro, but you turned it around. But when life gives you diabetes, you don't make lemonade. So that was clever and cute. And I like the way you did the tie back in the end. Now, as far as sharing something personal about yourself, this clearly qualified as something personal, and so that was good. Seeing you walk along the corridor, I wouldn't say, oh, there's Terry, he has diabetes. So that was something good and personal that you shared with yourself. I think it would have been interesting to know how long you've had it, how you got it, and that sort of thing, but that's another story. So let's talk about your first reasons that you're committed, your first story. You talked about going to your grandfather's house and actually seeing him have a stroke, or was it your uncle? Was it an uncle or a grandfather?
Cousin, yeah.
Okay, and that must have been a really catastrophic event. I would have maybe played it a little bit more and say we were sitting at the table talking all of a sudden and made it more of, and then give your reaction. My God, I was scared. I thought he was going to die. I was a young kid. Make it a little more into a story. What I did like, however, though, at the end of your story is you gave a little moral the way Steve Jobs did in his 3 speeches, a little moral at the end. And you said he didn't learn his lesson. He continued to smoke and continued to have problems. So that was good that you had a little lesson at the end of your story. On your second reason for being committed, you talked about being careless and going to the 7-Eleven, no less, and overdosing on sugar and eating a lot of sugar, and you felt very bad. And again, I passed out. I would have made this a little more dramatic, and we were wondering whether to call the doctor or the hospital and that sort of thing. But it was a real wake, and then a moral at the end. It was a real wake-up call for me. I wasn't going to do this again, let this ever happen again. On your actions, I thought they were consistent with your PC, and so that was good. It's always good to eat fruits and vegetables and non-sugary foods, so that's consistent. On your exercise, that was good. And then monitor, you might want to say a monitor with a pinprick, or give just a little bit more detail on that. On the fourth step of how you feel when you perform these actions, that was good feelings and good emotions that you presented. Your summary was good and detailed. I like that you didn't just say, I've given you 2 reasons and 3 actions, but you said what the reasons were and the actions were. And so that was good. And then you tied back to the I'll make sugar-free lemonade, and that got a laugh out of your audience. On your goals, you said, I want to make good eye contact, I want to express my emotions, and I want to use hand gestures. How'd it go?
I think the emotions was probably a little lacking today, but
Yeah.
I'll improve on that next time.
Okay, and what emotions didn't we see, Teddy, that maybe you could have expanded on and given us more of?
I think, like you said, the fear with like the cousin situation, seeing it, I was
Seeing
very
him
shocked.
have a stroke
Yeah.
and that sort of thing.
Yeah, and then really convey maybe how serious or big a problem it was for me to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I guess so.
Yeah, I think so too. And something about maybe disclosing how you got it, or was it hereditary or whatever, would have been an interesting thing to do as well. But you're getting there, you're getting better, and don't be afraid to express your emotions when you're telling stories. So you did a nice job. Thank you. Okay, another volunteer? Yes. Can you take this over? Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, you get your trusty headphones on there. Huh? Ready for action.
Oh.
Okay, Maria stands before you, managing attention. Okay, he's done a little reading, so clear your voice for him. Communicating respect non-verbally, finding friendly eyes near the front and center, say your name, feel the love, start your speech.
Hi, I'm Marie.
Hi, Marie.
So I want to begin with a line from a poem that changed my life. I want to know what sustains you from the inside when all else falls away, and if you truly like the company that you keep in the empty moments. Today, I want to share with you my personal commitment to being more relaxed. I'm going to share with you 2 reasons why I'm personally committed to being more relaxed, and 3 ways in which I have demonstrated this. Anxiety is something that everybody suffers from, especially in their young adult life, and I think that sharing with you my personal commitment will help you guys to reflect and maybe figure out things in your life that are causing you unnecessary stress. The first reason I am personally committed to being more relaxed is because my anxiety was causing me to lose my self-esteem. My sophomore year, I was applying to the communications major, and for some reason I felt that if I didn't get into the major that I was going to fail at every other aspect in my life. And I was so terrified that I've, in a way, felt like even if I did get into the major that I somehow didn't deserve it. I lost a lot of sleep over it. I walked around every day really tired and feeling very, very disconnected from the world. But I am a proud communications major and art history double major, and being personally committed to being more relaxed has helped me give myself the credit that I deserve for my hard work. Second reason I am personally committed to being more relaxed is because I was losing a lot of sleep and becoming very unhealthy. Every single night I would have a nightmare, and while I would love to tell you all of my nightmares, I just don't have enough time to do that. But I will recall one that still sticks with me today. I was running down this dirt road barefoot and I was being chased, and what woke me up was running into a line of bodies hanging upside down by their ankles, and they were bloody and bruised, and it was just so horrifying, and it woke me up, and it was so hard for me to shake the terror. In addition to frequent nightmares, I suffered from sleep talking and sleep texting, and I also occasionally had really bad sleep paralysis. Being more relaxed has made me an all-around healthier person. And the 3 ways that I have become more relaxed. The first, I take my prescribed medication as prescribed. For a very, very long time, I thought I could do it by myself, so I wouldn't take my medication and it would just cause a downward spiral, but now I welcome their help. Second, I run at least 5 days a week. It helps to clear my mind and it keeps me level-headed. And third, I do more artwork. When I came to college, I had a million excuses as to why I didn't have time to do it, but I realized it was the one real way that I could escape. Doing all of these things makes me feel more confident, it makes me feel healthier, and all around a happier person. So in summary, I have given you 2 reasons why I am personally committed to being more relaxed. The first was that my anxiety was causing me to lose my self-esteem, and the second was that my anxiety was causing me to lose sleep. I have taken measures to be more relaxed by taking my medicine, running, and doing more artwork. There should be no doubt in this room that I'm personally committed to being more relaxed and that I'm doing this for myself. And at the start of all this, I really, really didn't like the company I kept in the empty moments. But now, by doing these 3 things I mentioned, I have been able to quiet the nagging voice in my head that was destroying my self-worth, and I am all around a more content person.
Thank you. In the very back. Yeah, sure.
Hello, I'm Paul Xiao.
Al Sham.
Yeah.
Hi.
I do writing speech in very organized
Thank you. Improvement? You just came in, all right, let's go to improvement here.
Hi, Erica.
Hi, Eric.
Hi, Erica.
Okay, you speak really loudly and you have a really good pace of high speak, so it's easy to listen to. Just watch when you're in the power stance, you sway back and forth a little bit.
Right, were you aware that you're swaying?
I was aware I was shaking, so I think I was kind of trying to move around so that I
Wouldn't shake so much,
Yeah.
and that does help.
Yeah.
The power stance, if you lock your legs a little bit, you may not sway as much. No joke, but something like Tai Chi or something very slow, stretching and exercises gives you a better awareness of what your body's doing while you're speaking. Let's go from the top and talk about it. You started with an introduction with a line from a poem that changed your life. I want to know if you can be alone with yourself and if you truly like the company you keep in the empty moments. It would have been interesting to know where the poem was from, who wrote it, who said it, that sort of thing. Give it some credibility. Your thesis preview was fine. You simplified your message down into being relaxed or being kind of stress-free, I think was what you're after. Your SIG statement sold it to the audience, and so that was good. Your first story about applying to be a comm major, and I would tell you this is not the first time I've heard this story of anxiety, and many people apply 2 and 3 times, until they're persistent about it until they get in, and now we have interviews, and it gets very complicated now, and you have to write little essays and so forth. So I had a lot of empathy for the story you told, and I thought it was a good story, and you linked it to your self-esteem, and so that was good. That you can't say one event means I'm worthless. One action. It's much like our first speaker. You get a lemon, you make lemonade, you work on it, move on. On your second story, I thought it was very self-disclosing about you having a lot of nightmares and not sleeping well. And sleep talk and texting in your sleep were all really interesting, self-disclosing things about you not being very relaxed and you not being very relaxed before bed. On your 3 actions, I thought, and when you watch yourself tonight on television or on YouTube, see if you don't see what I noticed. It was kind of an abrupt transition between your third story and getting into your actions. Maybe a little moral at the end of that section would have gotten you more smoothly to your actions. I thought it was very self-disclosing that you said, I take my medicine. That was something personal that most people don't reveal. Hi, I'm Marie, and I take medicine. So that was good, and it took some courage to share that, and so I appreciate that. That was good. Running was good. Art, I've had other students say that mindfulness, meditation helps twice a day for 20 minutes, gives them a more relaxing day. Other students have done this week and said yoga, so those are just some other possibilities that you might consider down the road. Your summary was fine and well detailed. Your conclusion was well done, and then you tied back to your poem, and so that all worked well. I see you do have the quote of the poem down at the bottom. You just didn't tell your audience who it was and give the poem a little more credibility. Your goal was to be on time. You were speaking with variety and better hand gestures. How'd it go?
Time. I didn't want to speak too fast.
Yeah.
Because I felt jumbled, and I think I probably went a few seconds over. But I think that's better than going 5 minutes. And
right.
Hand gestures, I think we're fine, but I need to work on my sway.
This way, yeah, this is really a habit you've developed, and you can get rid of it. Just try locking your legs and staying in the power stand. And when you practice with a live person as opposed to a mirror, tell them that you're working on your sway next time as one of your goals. And when you start to sway, have them move so that helps you know that you're swaying at the time. But overall, you did a nice job. Thank you. Thank you for joining the camera. I appreciate it. Okay, another volunteer? Yes, please. Thank you so much. We love volunteers, don't we? Yeah. Hi, how you doing today? That's good. Okay, she stands before you, managing attention, communicating respect, finding friendly eyes near the front of the center. Say your name, feel the love. Start your speech.
I'm Jenny.
Hi, Jenny.
So a man named George Fisher once said, "When you aim for perfection, you discover it's a moving target." And this is a quote through experience I've learned could not be more true. So today I want to share with you my personal commitment to being less of a perfectionist. I will share with you 2 ways in which I am personally committed to being less of a perfectionist, or 2 reasons, and 3 actions I have taken in order to demonstrate this commitment. I know this will be a topic that is interesting to you because I know many people, especially high-achieving college students, struggle finding a balance between challenging themselves but also accepting themselves for who they are and their limitations. And I hope that my personal commitment for this will inspire you to strive for this similar attitude. So the first reason why I'm personally committed to being less of a perfectionist is because when I have more realistic expectations for myself, I actually perform better. So when I was a freshman in high school, I was on the girls' golf team, and I qualified to play in this individual tournament against a few other girls from the district. And being a freshman, I had no prior expectations for myself to, perform any particular way. So I just went into the tournament pretty happy-go-lucky, ended up playing very well. Wasn't really keeping track of my score or my position in the tournament until I ended up realizing I was in the lead when I finished, and I ended up getting first place, which was a very, very happy surprise. But the next year, I was a sophomore, and I ended up qualifying for the same tournament. So this time it was different, though, because having that expectation of, having placed first the previous year, I thought I had to be perfect. I thought I had to place first again, and I thought I would let everyone down if I didn't get first place. So this was the wrong attitude to go into the tournament with, because having so much pressure on myself made me perform really poorly. Needless to say, I didn't place this time, and it was just a really disappointing experience for me. But it taught me that if I have realistic expectations for myself, perfection is impossible, so it's wasteful to try to attain it, and I should just accept myself for what I can be. The second reason I am personally committed to being less of a perfectionist is because it makes for a much happier and healthier lifestyle. So throughout most of my youth, I was a pretty happy kid. Everything was pretty good. But something changed a little bit the summer I went into my junior year of high school. I realized that year I would have a lot on my plate. I was going to be taking a bunch of AP classes I wasn't sure I was prepared for. Knew I had to get really good grades to get into a good college. I knew my parents' expectations of me. Had to take the SATs, a bunch of things were going on. So I realized I thought I had to control myself and how I would perform these, achieve these things that I thought I had to do. So in order to do this, I cracked down on myself really hard. I, wasn't going out with my friends. I was declining invitations to go out, only doing work. I wasn't treating my body very well. Lost a lot of weight. It was really unhealthy. So I realized, that year, luckily, I ended up joining a, little composition show that our high school was putting on. All of my friends were on the cast with me, so that kind of helped me come out of my shell a little bit more. And in hindsight, I learned little by little that I could balance work and play a lot better, and I realized that trying to be perfect in every aspect just wasn't working for me, and I'd be much happier if I accepted myself for who I was. So the 3 actions I have taken in order to demonstrate my personal commitment are: 1, I live a happy and healthy lifestyle by balancing a lot of the things that are important to me, including maintaining healthy relationships with family and friends, doing what I enjoy, being happy, exercising, stuff like that. The second way is I have a good balance between how much I challenge myself, but also how much I accept myself for my flaws and my limitations. And the third way is that I stop and smell the roses. If I realize I'm putting too much pressure on myself, I realize that I'm only human and that life's beautiful and it's, everything's gonna be okay. So, in summary, and doing all of these things has made me feel liberated. I feel I live a much more fulfilling lifestyle, and I'm much happier. So in summary, I have told you 2 reasons why I'm personally committed to being less of a perfectionist: because I perform better and because I'm happier. And 3 actions I have taken in order to achieve this, including being healthier and happier, balancing how much I challenge myself versus how much I accept myself, and stopping smelling roses. And so there should be no doubt in this room that I actually am personally committed to being less of a perfectionist. So as George Fisher said, when you aim for perfection, you discover it's a moving target. And what this quote means to me is that while perfection may be impossible, it's the imperfections in life that make it beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, 5:08, and a little over. So there are some people in the back that came in late. Let's just let them participate. Yeah. Hi.
I'm Chen.
Hi, Chin.
I chose a very good topic, and I think the speech is very fluent, the delivery, and the content is very interesting. So that's a cool point.
Okay, thank you, Chin. Improvement?
Sort of. I would say to slow it down a bit and use the word enunciate a little bit less, but
Yeah, if you slowed it down too much, you would have really gone over time. And so I don't think that's the solution. Who is George Fisher?
He's like this band. First, he's in a band. I don't know. I found the quote online, but.
Okay. I see. Well, it's good to Google your source and find out who they are, so you can say, according to a composer and member of the Kiss band, George Fisher, he said the following, and so it sets it up a little bit better. You talk about your goal being not wanting to be a compulsive perfectionist, and so that was very clear, and that sounded like you were self-disclosing something that was private, and you normally wouldn't tell people that you were a compulsive perfectionist. I liked your significant statement. I thought you sold it well to the audience and told them that if they had this problem, they could probably learn from you. Let's go to your stories. This is where they were too long, but they were interesting. They had plenty of details. Your golf stories were interesting, and I have a similar thing that I talk to my debaters about, which is to debate in the state of relaxed concentration. I know it sounds like a contradiction, but I think you know what I mean. And it sounds like when you were a fresh person that you were in the state of relaxed concentration. And there's a point when extra effort, you know this from a person that says, I'm going to hit it 400 yards. If it's the last thing I do, it rarely works when there's that kind of extra attention on the process. So I like the moral of the story that you had at the end of what you learned from those 2 experiences. Just shorten the story down so they don't go on so long. On your second story, this is where you went long, but you gave us a pretty good detail that, when you were in high school, there was a lot of pressure on you to be, the perfect Jenny with AP classes and SATs and getting you into UCLA or wherever you wanted to go. And then you gave us your solution, which was you joined, what was it, a fashion show production, and that gave you back some balance, and that was good. It was a good story. It was just much too long, and you had a moral at the end of it. So work on timing yourself and work on your stories, just still saying the same things but being shorter. On your actions, I thought they were consistent with your PC, and I think that was good. I stop and smell the roses is a cliche, but it does communicate an idea that most people can understand and relate to, that you jump off the merry-go-round or whatever metaphor you want to use to take some time out. That's why meditation twice a day is probably a good thing too. And your power stance was, you got out of it a few times, much the way you are now, and so you want to watch that. Your goals were to not to say so much, to make good eye contact, to get more control of my body, and to speak loudly so everyone can hear. How'd it go?
Well, he mentioned I said so.
Yes.
Yeah, ongoing issue. I think I spoke loud enough. I'm not sure. And then I think I made eye contact pretty well. So
Right.
I don't know about my body movements. I moved around. I don't know if I was swaying.
They were pretty good. There were at times your feet were coming together and moving around a little extra, but it's getting better, and I think you're focusing on the right things that you want to work on. If you have a live person that listens to you when you practice and you tell them that is one of my goals that I want to get rid of, and they raise their hand every time you throw an out or a like, then you will slowly become aware of it and stop using it. But overall, except for the overtime, you did a nice job. Thank you. Okay, another volunteer. Hi, go for it. 32.
Yeah.
Okay. Jordan stands before you. Managing attention. Communicating respect non-verbally. Fine. I want to give you a little more light too, by the way. Is that a little better?
Yeah. Yeah. You're just too tall.
Too tall.
It's okay.
Too tall, Jones. Yeah, you don't want to be too close to the screen. You want to just give us.
It's okay. I'm good.
She's adjusting.
She's improvising.
Yeah.
You can still, if that's real uncomfortable, you can still just be down here and tilt it back. Do it your way. Okay. Okay. We're rolling.
Hi, I'm Jordan. Today I'm going to share my personal commitment with you guys. So I'm sure you guys all remember in middle school when your teacher asked you, what do you want to be when you grow up? I'm sure we all have some different answers that were pretty interesting. Although I feel that mine was pretty unique. When I was a little kid, I wanted to be a professional jump roper. I don't know what it was, something about jumping rope at recess, like, I want to do this. My teacher was actually worried and called my parents. So that day when I got home, my dad had a talk with me, and it really changed my mind about these things. He told me, son, I don't care what you do when you grow up. You might not get to be a professional jump roper, but you can be a good dad no matter what you do. So as of that point forward, I wanted to be a good dad, and that's my personal commitment. And in my life, I've had a couple experiences that have kind of reminded me of that commitment that I have, and they're kind of taking some different experiences and taking a good outlook on them. So I think they're pretty interesting, and that you guys will enjoy them. So first, I was at a football game. I was 10 years old. We were on this team, and we sucked really bad. But my dad, he promised, he says, son, I'll be at every game this whole year. And he was a businessman, he was a traveling man, and he was in St. Louis one time, and he was supposed to miss my game. So I was on the field, I was kind of stretching, like, lackadaisically. I wasn't really thinking about my dad not being there. And I was sitting on the ground, and my dad came up and tapped me on the shoulder, and he kind of looked down like this, and I was sitting there, and he says, hey son, I made it, I kept my promise. We went on to lose the game, it was like 52 to like nothing. It sucked. But in that moment, I felt really special and important to my dad because he had canceled a meeting so that he could make it to my game. And that had reminded me, like, hey, I want to do this for my kids someday when I have them. My other story, which is kind of weird, is I got slapped in the face. So I was playing basketball with, he's an older guy, he's not super old, sorry Scotty, but he's like about 40. And we were playing basketball, and he was keeping up with me, he was running up and down the court, he was playing like he was going to die, like if I don't win, I'm going to die. And I went up for a shot, and he just like slapped me in the face, and I fell down. And instead of getting mad, I kind of laughed and said, I would do that to win, like, we're really on the same level today. And after that day, we were walking out in the parking lot, and I was thinking, like, you know what, like, this guy's so much older than me, he has kids, he has a job, he's so much more important, but we were on the same page, we're on the same team. And I really liked that equality that I felt that day, and I thought, you know, one day when I have kids, I want my kids to be able to feel like they can talk to me, feel like we're on the same level, and be able to run up and down the court with my kids. So there's 3 things that I'm doing to help myself become a good father, hopefully. I babysit a lot, so my brother and I, every time we're home, we babysit, so that's practice makes perfect. We're always practicing. I'm trying to be really patient, because sometimes when you babysit, I don't know how many people babysit. Kids are, they can get annoying or do really weird stuff. I'm trying to be patient with the kids. And then last, I'm taking notes. Like, I see these parents, some of them are doing stuff that I think is a good idea, others not so good. It's like, okay, hit my kids, probably won't do that. Okay, do this, that'd be good. So I'm taking notes, I'm actively paying attention. So I think that when I do these things, I feel different. I feel like I'm helping other people, and like the little kids, they call my brother and I, they're superheroes to be thrown around and stuff. So I think there shouldn't be any doubt that I do want to be a good father one day in the future, and that I'm doing 3 things to help that. I'm babysitting, being patient with these kids, and I'm taking mental notes. So although being a professional jump roper would probably be really cool, I think that being my kid's superhero would be better. Thank you.
Thank you. 325. Good. I guess it's this road. Yeah, there we go. Yes, please.
Hi, I'm
What's your name? You? Hi, you.
I like your speech, I like your reputation, I like your stories. Story is just like everyone's dream, and the story links to our daily life, and I think your topic is very interesting and significant to all of them. Thank you. I like your speech.
Okay, yeah. Everyone wants to be a good parent, and so he had a pertinent topic that people could all relate to, right? Improvement. Anybody else in that row not spoke yet? Okay, this row. Improvement.
I honestly couldn't.
Start with your name, please.
Oh, sorry, Andrew.
Hi, Andrew.
I honestly couldn't think of any improvements. I did really like how you incorporated sense of humor, and you started with something we can, or most of us can relate to. And when you use dialogue, you would change your tone so that it actually sounded like someone was talking.
Mm-hmm. And that's good. That's a good thing to do, to always put drama in what people are speaking about and saying. Jordan, let me give you some feedback. You did a nice job, although I think there's some things you can still work on. When you watch yourself tonight on YouTube, you're going to see that you kind of, before you started with your rhetorical question, what do you want to do when you grow up? You said, today is going to be my PC speech. Oh, and now I'll start it. What do you want to be when you grow up? So leave out those first parts. Just go with your introduction. I liked the fact that you saw humor in the jump rope and range of dreams, and you got a good laugh from your audience, and that established a positive connection. On your thesis, you said your thesis is to be a good dad. What you left off of your thesis was the preview, and I'm going to give you 2 reasons and 3 actions that I'm going to take to achieve this. So set up a roadmap for your audience to know, set up a contract with them of what you're going to do. Your first story was a good story about your own father, who is a busy businessman, if I could say it that way. I showed up at your football game and said, see, I kept my word, I was at the game. And you said, even though we lost the game, I was glad that my dad kept his word and came to the game. I think you want to have a little moral to the story, because you did have about 30 seconds. You still could have pulled in a moral there and said it. So I'm glad I had a great dad as a role model to follow. On your second story about Greg and the basketball story, I needed some more details. I got a little confused about why it was good to get slapped and why that could relate to being a good father. And so I needed that connection back to that story. It was a great story, an interesting story, and it had action. And because usually when people get slapped, don't they start fighting or pushing or doing something crazy? And so I didn't get the moral of that story in connection with your being a good dad. On your actions, you said you babysit your brother. That was consistent with your PC. You learning to be more patient, that's consistent, and you're learning humility, that's consistent, and you had good feelings state about how you feel when you take these actions. I like the idea that you were sort of observing when you see good parenting going on, you're saying, okay, that works, and beating the hell out of kids, that doesn't work, and that sort of thing, so that was good. You had a nice detailed summary of your actions, and so that worked well. And you tied back to your jump rope story. Now, your goal was to be shorter in length, not lost tone due to time, and to engage the audience. How'd it go?
I was shorter, but like you said, I left out some parts because I was really worried. I had practiced with my brother, and I was over, so I was trying to
make sure you didn't go over. Yeah.
Right. I feel like I still was able to speak the way I like to speak, and engage the audience, and not be super serious.
Yeah, you got the essence of it. And when you practice with a live person the way you were practicing with your brother, if he sees that you left out your preview, have him tell you and go over that a few extra times. But overall, you did a nice job. Thank you. Okay, another volunteer. Okay, we'll go over here next, and then here. Yeah. Hi, how you doing today? You have your rock shirt on today, huh? Give me a moment, Agnes.
Hi, I'm Agnes.
Hi, Agnes. Okay.
According to Jens Wando, an official of the United Nations Development Program, inclusion means equal access to resources and opportunities such as healthcare and education. It also means a voice in the society. His idea to include the excluded is closely related to my personal commitment. Today I'm going to share with you my personal commitment to provide more accessible healthcare to also a marginalized group, migrant workers in China. And I'm going to provide you with 2 reasons for my commitment and 3 actions that I've taken. I understand that here in America, the topic of immigrant is pretty sensitive, but in China, we refer to people who moved from the countryside to urban cities as migrants. And I believe what I'm going to share does not only apply to China, but also to the underprivileged communities in every diverse society, like here in America. The first reason why I'm committed to providing healthcare to migrant workers in China is because I saw with my own eyes the plight of migrants. I will never ever forget the old couple whom I saw scavenging through mountains of garbage day after day to raise their grandchild, and even attempting to find medicines in the garbage when they fell sick because they were barely making ends meet. It really hurts to see them impoverished, marginalized, and even lacking access to quality health services. You may ask me, why is the misfortune of this marginalized group of my concern, as we seem to trouble non-intersecting tracks in life? Here comes the second reason. Before serving the migrants, I was mistaken to think that my track and their track would never cross. In fact, migrant workers could be anyone we interact with on a daily basis. After encountering a dining hall worker in my university who was of my age at the migrant community where I served, I'm no longer motivated just by an abstract sort of compassion, but rather a personal commitment to serving people around me whose needs are often overlooked. Since then, I have executed health outreach programs to connect migrant patients with medical volunteers. I researched for my undergrad thesis possible improvement of the current healthcare system to help migrants in China. I also came to America to pursue a pharmacy education so that one day I will have the professional knowledge and skills to educate them safe medication practices. I would like to also share with you how I felt when I served the migrants. Delivering health services and outreaching are never just about science. I really enjoyed knocking on doors when I didn't know who were behind them. And I found it really gratifying when people started to say hi to me on the street in that migrant village and ask me about future projects. In summary, I have shown you 2 reasons why I'm personally committed to providing more accessible healthcare to migrants in China, because I saw their plight and that they could be anyone I met. I also took actions to achieve this commitment by executing health outreach programs, conducting policy research, and also pursuing a pharmacy education. There should be no doubt that I'm really personally committed to include the excluded migrants in China, and I invite you to do the same. Start listening to the voices of the people around you who are marginalized. Thank you.
Thank you. 407.
Hi, Uncle.
Hi, Cole.
I really liked your details, and you're just very clear and concise, and I could tell that you really learned your speech well.
Mm-hmm. Your space. Let's go to this row. Improvement.
Hi, I'm Teddy.
Hi, Teddy.
I thought the only thing was maybe movements. I don't think you maybe realized at the time you were doing this, but it kind of seemed like, oh yeah, maybe I should move right now. But you moved not as much of a flow as it could have been, but otherwise it's great.
Thank you, Teddy. Agnes, like your speech, like the topic. It's one that, as you pointed out, is happening in every society, but it's happening in our society in America, and we now have an issue in our southern border of children there and so forth. And I was glad that you made the parallel in your significance statement to relate it to everyone here, because this migrant workers, as you wanted to call them, or illegal aliens, as some derisively call people that are here illegally, is around and bad. I prefer that on your next speech you not give it to me in one single paragraph the way you did it, but in outline form with the 7 parts with bolding, intro, thesis, sig statement, main body, summary, conclusion, tieback, so that it's much easier for you to remember and learn and follow. So on your thesis preview, you gave it to us well. You told us that you were going to give us 2 reasons and 3 actions you've taken, and you had a good significant statement. Your first story, I thought, was your best story. I really got the idea that you saw an old couple picking through the garbage, and there's nothing worse than being old and cast away from society and told you're worthless, and then yet not even giving the resources to live and survive. And so I thought that story was a good story. Maybe just a little bit of a moral at the end of that would have been good. Now, your transition was, and this was still what I was wondering about, was why are you so interested? Why is this a personal commitment of yours? And I'm not sure I still got it. I'm not sure how much you shared about your own personal feelings and private things in this speech. Your next story concerned the people you saw in the mess hall, that were about your age and immigrant status. And then I didn't get a lot, it wasn't real clear the actions that you were taking to promote your personal commitment. That you need to, with your voice, say, now that I've given you my reasons, let me give you 3 actions that I'm going to take. 1, 2, 3, with your voice, so it's easier to follow, say. On the, and then you told us that you wanted to go to pharmacy school, and that was a good self-disclosure, and you said you felt good when you take these actions. It just wasn't clear what the actions were. Your summary, your conclusion, and tie back, and your call for action, you were almost making this into a persuasive speech, weren't you? You were saying, I hope you all care for the migrants and marginalized people around you as well. So your goal was to make eye contact, have good hand gestures, and good body movement. How'd it go?
I think the first 2 went well, but yeah, I need to work on moving around.
Moving
naturally.
3 times. And do you see what I mean about disclosing a little bit more of yourself, of something personal and private in nature, that why you're so committed? Because I'm not quarreling with you. I believe that you are committed. I still just don't know why exactly. So,
like, maybe I just live in like my parents, they were once migrant workers. So that's making me like more committed.
Oh, that would have been wonderful, yeah. And they had, give us a story of how hard they had it. That would have been a real personal disclosure. And because most people don't walk along the street and say, hi, I'm Agnes and my parents were migrant workers, right? But that's the only suggestions I make for you. Other than that, you did a nice job. Thank you.
Hopefully I can remember my speech from my early onset dementia.
52.
Okay, good. All right. He stands before you managing attention, communicating respect non-verbally, finding friendly eyes near the front and the center. Say your name, feel the love, start your speech.
Hi, I'm Scotty.
Hi, Scotty.
So, I've always been a pig. Everybody knows it. I'm entirely transparent about it, and up until now everyone has accepted it. I have always felt that monogamy was an illusion that turned otherwise completely honorable people into liars. I also believed that it was an archaic concept that was developed by people who were lucky to live till the age of 30 without being carried off by a pterodactyl. But now I'm committed to changing. And today I'm going to tell you about my personal commitment to becoming a complete and loyal long-term partner to my new fiancé. I am going to give you 2 reasons why I want to become a loyal partner, and I'm going to offer 3 actions that I am taking to achieve that goal. I think that life and the cornerstone of a happy life is about complete and honest relationships. And without those relationships, life lacks depth and fulfillment and gratification. The first reason I want to become a loyal partner to Tara is because I want to have a family again. I have mentioned before that I had a child a few years ago, and she didn't live very long, but it was my favorite thing that I ever did. And her name was Amanthea, and we called her Minty. And she looked a little bit like E.T., but she was adorable. And we took her to the zoo, and we took her to a soccer game. We lived in Brazil, and soccer it's their country's pastime, and they're very passionate about it. So before she passed away, we made sure to take her to the soccer game and so that she could see the Lions. And I feel like in order to have a family again, I want to raise my children in a traditional family model. I mean, my parents fell in love when they were sophomores at Syracuse, and they have felt that way about each other ever since. And I know that my sister and I got a lot of gratification and safety out of being raised in a household like that. The second reason is I truly love Tara. And I remember the first time I saw her. It was in a promenade in Rio de Janeiro, and she was wearing a blue dress, and she had these eyes that were the size of walnuts. And I thought I had seen an angel. And, you know, I was never above stalking, so I thought, I am going to get to know that girl. And I went into a boutique that she was working in that her mother owned the next day, and I started talking to her, and she had a journal on the counter, and she let me read it because she didn't realize that I understood how to read Portuguese. And she wrote about the handsome American boy that she had met in the promenade the day earlier. Now, ironically, she was not talking about me. But being, the narcissist that I am, I thought it was me, and I just went on it. And I got to know her, and I believe I loved her before I even knew her, and I think that she deserves that loyal companionship. The 3 actions that I am taking to become a long-term loyal partner is, first, I need to make sure that I maintain consistent communication. I make sure that she is the first person I speak to every morning, and she is the last person that I speak to before I go to sleep, regardless of where I am or where she is. So we keep the communication constant and consistent. The next thing that I am doing is I'm practicing open communication. I don't let anything build up. If I feel something, I express it. That way it doesn't become pent up and it does not become a problem. The third way is that I am asking someone who I know well and trust, who has great wisdom, how to be a great loyal partner, and that is my father. My father is the best man that I know, and he is my best friend. And he was a magnificent husband and a great provider. And since I don't have a roadmap, I am using him as a guide. When I practice these 3 exercises, I get a great deal of fulfillment and a great deal of peace of mind. It's nothing that I have ever felt before, but I am entirely gratified by it. In summary, I have offered you 2 reasons why I want to become a great, loyal, long-term companion. The first being my desire to have a family, and the second because I think that my fiancée deserves it. She's my fiancée now. I got engaged last night. I've given you 3 actions. The first is consistent communication. The second is open communication. And the third is using the wisdom of people that I've seen do it. I think that there is no doubt that I am committed to becoming a complete and loyal long-term companion. I have always been a pig, and I've always been transparent about it. And now I am being entirely transparent about my desire not to be one. And it's entirely worth it.
Okay, we're somewhere back here. Hi.
I'm Jenny.
Hi, Jenny.
I really like the speech. I think that you really like the face. I like how you moved around. I don't have negative comments at all.
Well, when we help people grow, it's not negative, it's helpful. Okay, improvement, please.
I'm Lule.
Hi, Lule.
I think your story is really attractive, but I think you maybe use too much and you are making great progress on your hand gesture, but I think when you move from this point to next, you should make clear movements from the middle to the side and to the middle, like that.
Okay, good. Yeah, when you watch yourself tonight, see if you don't feel like you're pacing as opposed to moving purposefully. You really do need to move because you have a very active persona, and that will relax it a little. You started off with a shocking revelation. I'm a pig. And that sort of grabbed everybody and got their attention, and that was good. And then you moved into the transition of saying, however, I don't want to continue to be a pig. And so that introduction was pretty good. And I'll talk about how your tie back could have been done a little more effectively in just a moment. Now, on your thesis preview, I thought that you did good work there. On your significance statement, I think that you were making observations about the importance of being in committed and meaningful relationships. Remember, you're selling it to the audience. And so you can say, and I know all of you want to have a good, meaningful relationship. We all do. It's a human need and yearning. So more specific selling that when you're doing your SIG statement. What I'm telling you is significant to the audience. On your main body, your first story was good. You talked about, you gave your partner a name, Tara. So it wasn't abstract. We weren't just saying she's some abstract thing out there. You talked about losing a child, and that was good. I think that, and you talked about how you performed before the end of that child's life, and that those were good qualities of storytelling. And then you went back and you said, I need to emulate my parents in order to provide a similar upbringing to future children. And so, but I think you're on the road, and I think that you got a taste of it. And there was better emotions from that story, and I was commenting on that before. On your second reason, you idealized her and talked about how you met her and she was an angel, and you thought she was talking about you in her diary, and that was good, and stalking, and that was good. And so that was a good story of how you met, and I would like you to relate it back to, and when I met her, I knew I wanted to be committed to her and be in a committed relationship to her. On the actions that you've taken, I like the idea that you make her exclusive, you talk to her at the beginning of the day, at the end of the day, that was all good. On the second action, you talked about open communication, and I thought that was consistent with your PC, because that will save you a lot of long-term trouble if you leave things bottled up. And then I like the third thing of using your father as a role model and counting on his wisdom to help get you through a new phase in your life. And so that was, I thought that was well spoken and well done. On your fourth action about how you feel when you take these actions, you said you felt satisfied, and so that was good. So good emotion communicating there. Your summary,
I was worried about the time.
Yeah, your time, you were fine with your time, but on the summary, I wanted to say, I'm wondering about this loyal, long-term partner, as opposed to, and then you referred to as a fiance. I didn't hear future wife, or I didn't hear marriage, and I wondered about that. I wondered if that's in the cards or not. It doesn't necessarily have to be in a committed relationship, but I just wondered about it. After your conclusion and your tie back, I would have liked a less abrupt transition to the tie back. And so you're saying there should be no doubt in this room I'm committed to a long-term partnership with Tara. And then you said, so I would have done it this way. So you'll recall in the beginning, I told all of you, I'm a pig. But I think it's true that even pigs can evolve and change and grow up, and so I'm really committed to doing that, and it'll be totally worth it. Rather than just abruptly going back to I'm a pig. Have a little smoother transition in there. Other than that, what I didn't see goals here. Do you have some specific goals you were trying to achieve?
Well, I wanted to move around the room a little bit
Yeah.
more fluidly, and I wanted to get my time down.
Yeah, okay. Your time was fine. Work on that. Time it before time, and do some editing if you have to, in the storytelling part of it. What Lele was suggesting, and what we've talked about, is moving west to the left, working that side of the room, moving to the right, my right, working this side of the room, and then coming back to center. Watch and see what you do in contrast to walking. I also thought that the way you dressed today was better and more credible. So I thought that was good. So you did a nice job today. Thank you. Okay, keep on coming. Hi, how you doing? That's good.
Hi, I'm Nikki.
Wait, no. People are talking out there. Always manage attention, communicate respect, finding friendly eyes near the front and the center. Say your name, feel the love. Start your speech.
Hi, I'm Vicky. Did you still remember the Stephen Jobs commencement at Stanford University? I still remember he said that have the courage to follow your heart and intuition. Maybe somehow they already know what you truly want, and everything is secondary. So just follow your heart to do everything, and maybe it become the first factor you maybe consider before you doing everything else. So today I want to share with you my personal commitment to follow your heart forever. And next I will give you 2 reasons about that and 3 actions I will demonstrate to achieve this personal commitment. So maybe doing everything that follow your heart will bring you confidence and will bring you imagination. Doing everything that's from your heart will bring you endless imagination, maybe. So the first reason that I'm personal commitment is that when I was in senior high school, I have a chance to achieve my dream to become a TV hostess in TV station. That means maybe I will have the chance to have the preview interview before I graduate from high school. If I perform excellent in this interview, I will have the admission letter from this university and this major. But if I perform bad, I do not have some qualification to choose this major, even if I enter into this university. So I was so happy and nervous in that time because I prepared for about half a year. I have some training lessons after school, and I do lots of practice at weekends days, so it's so hard for me. That if my parents did not want me to do some work with some entertainment in the future, because they think it also depends on beauty and did not have some enough acknowledge to support that. So unfortunately, my interview day is at the same day with my last practice exam. So my teacher told me that this exam is so important. Maybe it's a last real exam before you have the real exam before you have the college entrance examination. So I'm so nervous in that time, but my parents advised me that you should give up the interview and have the task. So in that time, I followed my parents' advice and had the job give up the interview. So the ending is so dramatic. After several months ago, I have received the admission letter from this university, but it's a different major. So after that, I'm so regretted about that, and it was my first time to realize the power of the follow your heart and make your decision by yourself. And the second story is a true story about my friends. You know, friends is just like your second hand and will help me when you meet in trouble and in lots of occasions. So maybe we are in the same year to enter into university, and in that time she is so younger, so she did not have done thought about to select what major and others. So it also depends on her parents' decision. But in the first year of the final exam, she failed all of the exam. So it's so sad about her because she did not like this major and she did not have enough passion to learn about that. So even if this major is so easy for everybody else, but except him, because she had no passion to learn about that. So the ending is not happy because she dropped out of school and she did not finish her study in the university. So from my friend perspective, I was so regretted about that. She failed all the exam and dropped out of school to do other works. And from this, I also realized the importance of to make some decision by yourself, because you have some chance to realize your dream and realize your decision. So next, I will tell you some 3 actions that I have to demonstrate my personal commitment. At first, you should love yourself. That means you should learn your true feelings. And second, even if the action is so small, your decision is so small, just to do it because you have a chance to achieve that. And the third is the most important, that you should believe yourself and trust yourself, even if whatever result you will receive, and just do it. So I have shared with you the 2 reasons that I'm personal commitment to follow your heart, and 3 actions that I have taken to support my personal commitment. So in summary, just follow your heart, do everything, because even if it will be fail or it will be lose some opportunity, but you have a chance to achieve this dream. So thank you.
Thank you. You're a little over time. Let me see, 5:20.
Okay.
So time it better and Ed.
Hi, I'm Hao Hao. Hi, Vicky. I like your speech. I think you're very generous to share your stories and your friends' stories to us. And they're all like very real. You can feel like how you felt at that time when you give up your own decision and follow your parents.
Yeah, must have been tough, huh? Improvement?
Hi, I'm Bella.
Hi, Bella.
I liked your story because I can somehow relate to all the pressure you get from your college entrance exam as well as the other chance you have. And I like how you introduce all the background and also how you introduce your story, and maybe a little bit more eye contact. Yeah.
Okay, let me talk about your speech. I very much like that you started off with Steve Jobs and you made an allusion to an experience that nearly everyone in the room has had. We shared it together. We saw him tell stories, tell very personal and private and compelling stories, and he had a moral too. On your thesis preview, it was fine. Your significance statement was good, and you got there at 50 seconds. So you were doing well up to the beginning. Where things went a little wrong was on your first story, where you talked about being on television and that being on a TV show, and I guess being a communications or entertainment major. And then the story wound around to where there was a crisis in which you had to choose between taking a review of the exam or doing the interview, and you did what your parents advised you to do. And so that was a good story, and you had a good moral at the end of that. A little long, though, okay, to shorten that up. Your second story about your friend that dropped out of school and how sad you were for her and that sort of thing, that she didn't have the discipline to do the work, the study, and that sort of thing. That was good. On your actions, they were fine, a little long. Your summary was fine. And then I would have liked you to, when you were doing your tie back, follow your heart, make decisions by yourself was your comeback. I would have just had some mention of the word Steve Jobs or something like that, so we remembered you said that first and you said that at the end. But other than that, you did a very nice job. Thank you. Okay, next. Hi. How you doing?
How you doing, Professor?
I'm doing great, thanks. He's managing attention, communicating respect non-verbally, finding friendly eyes near the front of the center, say your name, feel the love, start your speech.
Hi, I'm Cole.
Hi, Cole.
It matters not how straight the gate, how charged with punishments the scroll. I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul. Last time I shared with you that I have obsessive compulsive disorder. However, I didn't share with you my trials and triumphs in battling this illness. Today I'm going to share with you 2 reasons why I'm personally committed to maintaining my happiness and my health despite this condition, as well as 3 actions I've taken to make this happen. Every single one of us has a moment in our lives when we decide who we really are and what we're made of. This was my moment. So it was September 12th, 2011. I was a senior in high school on the varsity football team, doing great academically. From an outsider looking in, I was on the top of the world. However, my family and friends knew that I was going through a much more personal battle. When I was 5, I was diagnosed with mild obsessive-compulsive disorder, and I would have little habits that I would do over and over again. And this steadily got worse up until senior year, when I was up for 6-7 hours at night, washing my hands, changing clothes, checking to make sure the doors were locked. I literally felt like my sanity was slipping away and there was nothing I could do about it. On September 12th, I made the decision to end my own life. And it was the scariest thing I've ever gone through in my existence. I spent a week in the hospital, and thankfully I was fine after the occurrence, but it changed me inside. And I made the decision that I wasn't going to let that happen anymore. I wasn't going to let OCD define me. I was going to take charge of my life, and I was going to beat it. And that was the first reason that I decided to become a happy and healthier person. My second reason is my friends and family. When I made that decision that day, suicide is one of the most selfish things that anybody can do on the planet, in my opinion. And when the football team came and visited me in the hospital, friends and family flying from all over the country, I was getting letters from people I'd never even met before. And it put everything in perspective. And I realized just how stupid I had been and everything that I had to lose. From that day on, after seeing, the pain in my family's face, my friends, and how helpless they felt, I realized that I wanted to beat it. That I wanted to fight for them, not just for myself. And from that day on, that's my second reason for choosing a happier and healthier life. So 3 actions that I've taken since then. I started seeing a professional. I started taking medication. I completely changed everything about the way I think. I started talking to my friends and family more. This is my second action. Communicating instead of holding stuff inside. I started venting to them, which was better for me, because before that I tried to keep everything to myself. So communication was definitely an important factor. And third, I took a year off after high school, and I stayed close to home, worked, and saw the doctor more, and basically reorganized my life. So today I've told you about 2 reasons why I'm personally committed to being a happier and healthier person. 1, that I made the decision personally for myself, and 2, that I made the decision for my family and friends for their sake, and the 3 actions that I've done to make that happen. The poem that I started with was by William Ernest Henley. It's the last 4 lines of Invictus. And it basically says, it doesn't matter how straight you walk or how bad your circumstances are, you're always at the helm of your own destiny. Even though I've been 3 years in recovery from this situation, I barely take medication anymore. I've seen the doctor twice this year. For all intents and purposes, I'm completely different from who I was. but I carry this poem with me always today to remind me that I'm always in control, no matter how bad things can get. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm gonna cry.
424. Where are we? Hi.
Hi, I'm Eva.
Thanks.
Hi, Eva.
I really loved your speech. I thought it was really brave of you. I thought your gestures were really great, and your pace was really great as well. Overall, it was a really good speech.
Thank you. Improvement?
I thought it was really great.
Start with your name.
I'm Elaine.
Hi, Elaine.
Hi. I thought it was really great, and I think you're really strong, and I can't think of any improvements.
Okay, thank you. You're really strong. Okay, good. I liked your quote, and I liked the beginning of it and the way that you dramatically presented it. You didn't present it in a monotone, and so that was good, because these are very powerful words, as often poetry can be. And so I appreciate you making it kind of melodramatic and really presenting it well. And then not telling us who said it, and then telling us at the end that it is Henley, and he was crippled, but he still wrote this very powerful thing, and that sort of thing. So that was good. On your thesis preview, it was excellent, and it hit the bill what I was after in terms of sharing something personal and private about yourself, being authentic, because I think in doing that, it's a step on the road of self-actualization, really, and just being real and true to yourself. So that was good. Your SIG statement was a little light on the audience, but still it was okay. You said everyone has a defining moment, and this was mine, so you focused on yourself. Your first story just knocked it out of the park. You talked about your OCD, how it got worse, how it culminated in you attempting to end your life. And you gave us good details of what you were doing, washing your hands and locking the doors and that sort of thing. And I thought that you really it took a lot of courage to tell that story. Most people wouldn't tell that story in a public realm, and that was excellent. The second story that you told was your recovery, what I call your recovery from your suicide, and your how all the people gathered around you, the team, your parents, strangers, to try to draw you back to life. And yes, you're right. Suicide is a very selfish thing. I agree with you in your assessment of that and your actions on that level. On the third part of your actions, I thought that they were all on point with you dealing with OCD, and that was excellent. And then on your summary, that was good, and then your conclusion tie-back all worked very well, and you said, I'll always remember these lines. I wouldn't even have mind you saying, I remember the line, I'm the master of the fate, I'm the captain of my soul. And that I wouldn't even mind you saying it again, but it was really a well done speech, and thank you very much for sharing. Thank you. Okay, shall we take a break here now and look at the next speech for a moment? Can you take out your prompt for your persuasive speech?
Should I press the button?
Oh, wait.
How do I stop it?
Oh, you don't stop it. No, we're not going to stop it. Let's wait. Let's do one more until the camera runs out. So let's have one. We can do one more. I don't want.
I mean, it might run out soon.
Yeah, we have one more speech, one more PC. Well, one more volunteer, please. Any volunteers? By the way, in the Tuesday class, when I showed the model on the board, a lot of the students use their iPhone to film the model and then take it home so they can watch it. So if you want to do that, go for it. Hi, how you doing? Good. 125.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. Thank you. Okay, she stands before you, managing attention, communicating respect non-verbally, finding friendly eyes in front and center. Say your name, feel love, stay sweet.
Hi, I'm Gabi.
Hi, Gabi.
I invite you to today think about an important question. What does health mean to you? What does practicing a healthy lifestyle mean to you? For me, it has to deal with my emotional health, my mental health, and my physical health. And today I'm going to share with you 2 reasons and 3 actions I'm taking to practice a healthy lifestyle, which is my personal commitment. The first reason I'd like to share with you is when I was younger, I went through a period of depression, and I wasn't depressed about anything in particular. I just felt really sad, and I didn't feel motivated to hang out with others or to really get out of bed. I just didn't feel connected with people. And after a while, my mom noticed this, and she brought this book to me, and it was called The Precious Present. And she read it to me, and it was about an older man who was sharing with a younger boy what the precious present is. And the boy didn't understand. He thought it was a gift. And the older man said, no, it's something that only you can give yourself, and no one else can give to you. And then eventually the boy understood the precious present is now, it is the present, and we have to appreciate the life we have and the things that we have around us, and not look around to others to make us feel happy. And this really shifted my perspective and helped me to find my emotional health and happiness in the present, and to continue doing that throughout my life. And the second reason I like to share with you is, as I mentioned before, I played a lot of sports when I was younger, and I was a really competitive athlete. I played basketball and soccer at the same time on club teams, and if any of you know about club teams, you travel a lot, you practice a lot, you're putting in hours on your own time. So I didn't really have to worry about my eating habits or exercising. It was pretty much all done for me. So after I kind of fell out of sports when it got too political for me, and I couldn't handle it, I lost my love for sports. I gained weight because I just kept eating the way I did before as an athlete, and that I didn't feel comfortable in my own skin, and I felt a little lost in my own body, and I didn't feel happy with my body. So I tried to look for my own ways to exercise and eat that were on my own terms, and that sports wasn't just automatically providing for me. And 3 actions that I have taken to practice a healthy lifestyle are to really get this perspective that my mom was trying to teach me with the book, and look at my problems as something more small, and realize my place in the world, that we're all just a grain of sand, and my problems may seem big to me at one time, but it's really not much, and it's okay to have big emotions, which is another thing my mom taught me, but you have to know how to control them, so that perspective helps me. And the second action I've taken is to eat healthy and exercise on my own terms, and do things that I like to do, which is like hiking and yoga, and just things that make me happy on the inside. And the third action that I've taken is to enlist my family in these efforts. Both of my grandfathers died when I was very young. One died actually before I was born from a heart attack related to stress, and the other died from an autoimmune disorder, and when I was about 1 year old. And so I really didn't have these older father figures, a grandfather in my life, and I want my kids to have a grandfather. And my dad is overweight at this point. He kind of has a leg problem and feels numb. So I've been trying to help him exercise with me. Last night we did push-ups and sit-ups together. And I also train with my younger sister, help her with soccer. And I go to the gym with my older sister. And it's just become a family affair, and it really helps me stay focused on my goal. And when I practice these actions, I feel happy, I feel self-satisfied, and I feel connected to my family and to myself and others.
And so in summary, I have shared with you 2 reasons that I would like to practice a healthy lifestyle. The first is to keep my emotional health in check and to not let sadness get to me. And the second is to be comfortable in my own skin on my own terms. And the 3 actions I've shared with you are to practice a good perspective